Hey, everybody. Happy Martin Luther King Day. My name's Hans Heiser alongside A.J. Cannon.
And we have a dream.
Bo, good to see you, man.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, I got some propaganda when I walked in the door here today. I'm pretty excited about it.
I am too.
The comeback.
I am too. Yeah.
Bo's manifesto.
What is this propaganda?
It's a manifesto.
I want to read this. I love conspiracy.
Yeah.
Conspiracy is very real.
It's not a conspiracy. This is reality. This is what's happening in life today. This is man versus big business. This is saving the radio industry as we know it today.
And it's, man, by saving the radio industry, saving the world.
It's a perpetual motion type of thing.
If you connect the dots, it's all connected.
Well, it's not just sports radio. It's all of Atlanta radio. I mean, it's mind numbing. I don't understand.
It's kind of
I like music, and there's nowhere you can listen to freaking music on the radio.
It's almost like they're seceding this whole thing to Sirius and. Satellite radio, and you almost have to go that way.
These kids and their smartphones.
Oh,
yeah, and I'm listening to these alternative programming venues. Why so serious? We're watching the.
When I was a kid, you had to go home and make a call. You had to stick your finger in the holes.
Remember that?
Miss Watson, get off the phone. I need to call out.
Sarah?
Remember those days?
Yeah. Sarah?
To listen down the line. What happened to your knuckle? You okay?
I had to knock the crap out of a guy.
Oh, yeah? What did he do?
The guy, it was in the ball pit at Chuck E. Cheese.
Did he pee in the balls again?
He did. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's my friend Patterson that I like to hang around with. And I told him, I know you have an incontinence problem.
Right.
Okay, friends accept these kind of things from friends.
Sure.
But I said, I don't care if you go back and pee by the Golden Tee, just don't do it on the ball pit. Because we're going to have a problem. Next thing you know, he's got a little spritz going, and I gave him a left. I only gave him a left. If I gave him the right, so
it would be his last spritz.
No, there was a bit of charity going on there.
Yeah.
So where'd you guys watch the game yesterday?
At home. That's where I watch. I watch at home so I can watch.
Well, that and you don't like people.
Yeah. Let's just get to the bottom of it.
Imagine a guy in the people business that doesn't like people.
Yeah, but he does want people to know the truth.
That's right.
And he wants to, because he knows that when there's bad sports talk radio, people die.
Yeah.
I ran into a former local sports television personality the other day. I saw him at the hospital. I said, "Hey, beaubock said to tell you hello." He goes, "I very seriously doubt that." And I said, "Well, I remember your name."
That could be to almost anybody.
I said, "Well, your name came up." He said, "Are you sure you didn't tell me to go screw myself?" I said, "That might have been it." He goes, "Yeah, I think that's probably it."
But that's his way of saying hi.
Yeah, that's his way of saying hi.
Yeah.
That means he likes you. Oh, go fuck yourself. That's good to see. So, you watched it at home? Did you watch it at home, too?
I also, I went out and I watched a little bit yesterday at Tilted Kilt.
Oh, I know what you were watching. So,
hey! I think it's mandatory there. Some places they will make you take the makeup and cover up the tattoos. I think it's mandatory that you have to have visible ink to live and work at Tilted Kilt. But I went over there and watched, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I wore my own kilt.
Did you?
I wore one of my kilts.
That's a good look for you.
I did. I wore my.
Did you wear your rugby sweater or just a kilt?
I had my kilt on and a nice sweatshirt. And I had a little longshoreman thing going with the black hat. It was very nice, I think.
That's a great ensemble.
People confuse you for Braveheart?
Yeah. Oh, I get that a lot. Freedom!
So it turned out to be good games. The first one, you got to give Denver some credit. Defensively, that's as good as a game as they played all season long.
I think so. And you also, they were fortunate to have that good weather, huh? Because that would have been an advantage Brady. And by the way, have you ever seen Brady as inaccurate as that? I've never seen him less accurate than that. Those overthrows, the first pass they overthrew, he had 6 points, and you never see him miss.
Yeah. He had a rotten
Giselle might be giving him a tough time at home.
I'd let her give me a tough time.
Maybe they should revisit the no whoopty the night before a game.
It's a good policy.
They always said that, but that was BS, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys were definitely that was kind of like a thing to actually have it.
It was a big boxing thing.
Well, Bo tried to go Jake LaMotta on it. He lasted every bit of 2 hours.
Yeah, right.
You screw my wife.
No, I wouldn't do it, Jake.
Okay, all right. I can't believe you asked me that question. It's a bullshit question. I'm not answering.
He was bad, and Belichick's going to have to answer some questions because it seemed to me like they didn't even try to run the football. You know, they were so successful last week with Blunt and Ridley and Vereen and all those guys running the football.
They
didn't even try.
Yeah.
You know,
because I thought that was the factor. LeGarrette Blunt being as hot as he was, and I thought they would definitely try to establish that, and then open up the passing game off that, draw everybody in, and make them commit to the run. But you're right, that was a haphazard game plan. You couldn't figure out what they were thinking.
I tell you, Manning, he's something else. You know, he never really had any weapons. I mean, he had Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne there for a couple years at the same time, but never really had much to boat with in Indianapolis. But I tell you what, those guys he's got in Denver, I mean, how do you stop when you got 4 guys that you can throw the football to?
Yeah, and it was even that way a little bit the year he won the Super Bowl. If you remember, that was a weird year in that the Indianapolis Colts defense was, I don't know if they were among the league's worst during the year.
That's when Bob Sanders had that great playoff
but they absolutely flipped the script in the playoffs, and they came on like gangbusters. I would credit that Super Bowl win to the way the defense played in the postseason. But he still performed admirably with what he had, and he's always going to do that. I still don't get the people that come down on Peyton Manning the way they do.
I don't know why.
I just think he's a phony.
I don't think that at all.
You don't think so?
I don't know. I've never.
You're usually pretty good with people.
I am, yeah. I mean, I never thought that at all. There's a regular guy. I think Eli's a regular guy. I think those guys I never put on whatsoever. Where did you get that idea?
I just think he's phony.
Yeah.
Why do you think he's phony?
What you think?
I don't know. I just get a
has a feeling.
What was the Tin Cup, the movie?
Yeah.
Remember Tin Cup?
Yeah.
What was remember Don Johnson's character?
Oh,
Where
yeah.
he was just, showcasing everybody. He was just a prick as soon as the cameras went off.
Uh-huh.
I want to get that feeling about Manning. Even if it's not, that's how he is.
Now, do you get the same feeling about Eli?
I don't know that Eli even knows he exists. I really don't. I think he just shows up.
Daddy, can I stop playing football now?
Oh, man. That was a hell of a football game, though, that second one. I mean, it lived up to everything you thought it was going to with San Francisco.
Well, that was still your championship game, in my opinion.
You think so?
I
think Seattle wins it all?
I think that's the Super Bowl.
I was still thinking going into that game.
How do you say that with Peyton?
Because of physicality.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
I mean, New England got some pressure on him. It's not anything like Seattle's going to get.
Yeah.
Seattle's going to commit to the pressure. Seattle's going to make him
I'd
move
love to
off
see
the
him
spot.
just get rocked. I'm sorry.
Well, he's gonna.
I've never seen him get hit.
I don't know what you got against him.
Have you ever seen him or Brady get hit?
No.
Meanwhile, my quarterback's got his helmet on backwards. They're dragging him in the mud. I want to see somebody else get hit, for God's sake. A man can dream, can he?
He's hanging in midair with his clothes coming off like Charlie Brown if they're taking one right up the middle.
His linemen aren't helping him up. He's got a footprint on his back.
That was about the reason I thought that the winner of the NFC was going to go ahead and win the Super Bowl was evident during the game. That was brutal. That was a brutal game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So I heard people actually saying that sometimes it's a little bit hard to watch.
You know what?
It's so
In
violent.
fact, if the Super Bowl was this coming Sunday, I'd got Denver, because you don't
That's to be
rebound
done.
from a game like that in a week.
Good point.
So it's like, and we've had the Super Bowls in 1 week, hence a couple of years, and you don't know if it was, and it's fortunate for them it is in 2 weeks.
Boy, Russell Wilson made that throw when they needed it. That was so unexpected. The game looked like it was not over, but pretty damn close.
Right.
And he made that throw to Baldwin, 51 yards over the middle. And all of a sudden, that stadium was alive.
That was a hell of a catch.
That was perfect. I couldn't believe he threw that in there. And then San Francisco had a chance. And that throw that Kaepernick threw was ridiculous. That was a bad throw.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I thought Kaepernick started to feel the pressure about 3/4 of the way. They're halfway through. Coming the third quarter, I thought he looked antsy. You could see in his eyes he was not comfortable.
He's a dopey-looking guy.
He is a dopey-looking guy.
He is, man. And
it's like a cartoon.
He has a wonderful economy with words in an interview, doesn't he? The guy got asked like a 10-minute question. And anyway, so with the offensive line having the problem, he started to see a lot more pressure. And so, did that affect your game? Yes, it did.
How about Aaron Andrews with Richard?
Wow.
I don't understand people that don't like her.
I like him fine. That was so out of the ordinary. He's really a well-spoken guy.
Stanford guy.
Yeah, and he's a communications major. And did you notice the whole time he was doing that, he was working the camera perfectly.
Right.
He's obviously has paid attention in class because you don't talk about the past. Great camera contact. You know,
Erin didn't want any part of that.
No, she didn't.
She wanted to bail out of that. And thank God they told her in her ear to get out.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know if he was about to go off on an epithet.
Okay, come on. Let's get out of this before we have to bring out the tear gas.
Yeah, right.
Let's go.
I tell you what, though, that guy talks a lot of trash, but he made a hell of a play. I mean, he won the game.
Having said what a bad pain in the neck he is, can we get him?
Oh, I'd love to have him. And let's not let Crabtree off the hook, too. Crabtree was baiting him the whole game. You know how Crabtree talks. He has a reputation for running his mouth.
He's a diva.
Yeah. So.
He's got great hands, though. Crabtree.
Oh, he's great.
He's a money player.
Great.
Yeah,
sometimes around here, it seems like we just go so much for that wholesome nonsense. You know what I mean? It's great. I mean, you want that. You want that in your team. You have to get it. But you don't go for that in lieu of a guy that's going to make a play who's going to pop off once in a while. I mean, you got to be able to live with it. That's life. You got 20 guys in a room. 5 guys are going to be jerks. The same thing in the team. You got 53 guys on the team. You're going to have 10 guys are going to be jerks.
I put it this way. I want my team to go out there with a playing attitude. And if you go out there with a playing attitude, you're going to talk some smack. It just goes with the territory. So
DJ Shockley said it to me, and I'll never forget this. It's a good way of putting it. He said, you want a guy on, he said, you need a couple guys on your team that when you get on the bus to come, you're getting on the bus after a game to go back to the hotel, that there's one seat empty on the bus, like Forrest Gump, and you'd rather stand up than sit next to that crazy son of a bitch. He said, you need a couple of them.
In Bo's case, because he was known to set your shorts on fire. You ever heard that story? When he was playing for Old White rugby's team. Now, was that you? That was somebody else.
No, it was me.
That was you. There was a guy on the bus. You tell the story.
Well, we were going on a away trip, and got a kid who was a linebacker for LSU, and he was playing for us. And he's standing next to me, and he had those cutoff shorts on,
cut-off jeans.
And they have strings coming down. So I go to the guy next to me, watch this. And I light one of those strings, and that thing went woof. It just exploded. Oh my God! I'm patting the guy in the rump, trying to get what?
Like there's something gas. There's like people shaking beers and trying to put him out.
I didn't know it would be flammable like that.
You know what? You're like me, where I do practical jokes like that, and then it takes a really bad turn, and then you're like, I'm so sorry. I really didn't mean to hit you in the head with a weight plate. I thought it was going to be so funny, but it turns out that I'm sorry. I didn't think it was going to hurt that bad.
This kid's dad was a coach in the National Football League for years and years and years. I just said linebacker for LSU. Good guy. I mean, we had a great team. We had great athletes.
And you were the only team that had to have, by law, a fire marshal on the bus.
Yeah. They stuck it to us after that.
So there's this website. This is my favorite draft website. It's called drafttech.com. And basically what it does, it does a bunch of things, but my favorite feature on it.
Well, the website you're on now says chickswithdicks.com.
No, just X out of that.
Oh. Okay,
X out of that.
All right.
There you go. It gives you your team needs based upon position. So it ranks it 1 through 10. 10 meaning like if your quarterback is freaking, Cam Newton, you're a 10 at quarterback. Right. You don't need a quarterback.
Right. And
so anything less than a 5, so a 4 and below is a major point of need. Right. And it goes on to explain this. Look at what they have for needs for the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, major needs. Running back, right tackle, right guard, tight end. Hold on. I mean, this is unbelievable.
We haven't even got to the defense yet.
Defensive tackle, most important needs. Defensive tackle, defensive end, outside linebacker, inside linebacker, cornerback.
Right.
All major needs.
Does it do the coaching staff?
But apparently we've already addressed that. We put some Band-Aids on it. We got some pain in the ass guys with some bad attitudes. It's going to fix everything.
It's like somebody said to me, I said, we've got to improve our toughness, our physicality. Well, we signed Mike Tyson. I said, Mike Tyson, Brian Cox, and Knight. You don't change the culture of an organization with a couple of position coaches. I said, second of all, they're going to fall back right into that malaise, that practice malaise that we've got, where all of a sudden they're shouting. After a while, they get tired of hearing themselves being the only ones shouting out there, and everybody's talking in a whisper at the Falcons practice.
See,
you don't change that.
You
don't change that with
I
two
agree
guys.
with you, but the name who always comes up with you is Smitty, and I don't really hear you talk about Dimitrov too much, but you'll even mention Mr. Blank. But the one guy who, to me, who makes all the decisions, who gets a pass, is McKay.
Oh,
with all his,
See, I've been talking about him a lot lately. See, he's got off his ear. And that's what I said in the commentary, which is hanging above the urinal in there today in Bradley's grill. So come by.
Let me drink my tea quicker. I need to take a squat and get some knowledge.
But, I was hoping that Arthur was watching that game last night in the midst of a bunch of football people and not Rich McKay. Because Rich McKay has got his ear. Rich McKay is the guy that gave us Petrino. Rich McKay is the guy that did, he doesn't get it. He comes from a different part of the world.
Were you impressed when Arthur Blank came out a couple of weeks ago and did his state of the team address? Did that impress you at all, or did it just seem like
no, it was,
owner speak?
You know what? It was like
it was corporate.
It was like almost he was finally hearing me. Something, you know what I mean? You know what was interesting?
Well, you are calling him.
You're a freaking egomaniac. It all got to get back to you, doesn't it?
Well, no, I don't mean it like that. But I mean, I'm the only one that talks about it.
Wait a minute, mean it like that. You're the dean. You are the dean of Atlanta Sportscasting. You should mean it like that.
I mean, I'm the guy that's talking about it all the time.
Who's been telling the truth in Atlanta Airways for 40 years?
Mary. No, you know what? Who's the only guy who ever talked about Todd Grantham? All of a sudden, yeah, it was terrible. Yeah, well, it's 3 years. The one thing my program director said to me over the course of the whole time he's been there and I've been there, he said, you got to keep talking about Grantham? I said, that's what's wrong. What do you want me to talk about?
Yeah. They got a lot of holes. So, any idea of positioning yourself to move up to get Clowney, it's out of question because you have too many holes.
No, we got to get that. If it's not Clowney, we've got to get that piece.
Well, yeah, what I'm saying is, but you can't give up 2 picks.
No.
They're not going to make the move.
They can't. No. They can't. They got too many holes. Way too many holes to fill.
But that's the number one priority, right? We have holes all over the place. The number one priority is pass rusher. But whether it's Anthony Barr from UCLA or whether it's Jadeveon Clowney, one or the other has got to be able to, has got to be with us next year.
They're not a playoff team next year. They're not. I mean, you look at Carolina and you look at New Orleans.
Yeah, I think it's a little early.
Look at what Tampa Bay's going to be, and look at what you have to. That's what I was talking about with Arthur. Hopefully, he was watching that game and understanding that I cannot project my team into this scenario. I mean, how could you do that? I mean, it's so obvious as the nose on your face. You're watching that game, saying, "Team can't play in this game."
How about Grimes and Abraham? Both have the best years of their career, and they're going to Pro Bowl.
Right.
And you let those guys walk.
Not quite as bad as Blunt and what they're doing in Tampa Bay after cutting that guy, but yeah, that seems to be the way it is with the Falcons stuff.
Yeah.
Been that way for years.
I'm happy for Grimes. I mean, I'm happy he got an opportunity.
Grimes is a good guy.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, you let 2 guys go like that, and they both go to the Pro Bowl?
I hated Grimes at first.
It's just hard to believe.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was going to be as solid in the league as he is.
I saw him you want to talk about an athlete. I saw him do something in practice one day. It was one of the most incredible athletic feats I've ever seen. They're running 7-on-7, and there's a ball going across the middle. He's in zone coverage, and he dives, catches the ball with one hand, and as he's falling, rolls over and does a somersault with his hand on the ball and springs up. Like a Cirque du Soleil type dude.
Wow.
People can't, you know what I'm saying? Like most people, even the most athletic people in the world can't do shit like that. He didn't even think about it. It's like
I don't know though, you're putting him in the same league with Cirque du Soleil.
Hey, those dudes are athletes.
In my book,
that's top of the line.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, they'll make you a crepe Suzette and go sky around for about 25 minutes.
You ever been to one of those things?
I have never been, but I wanted to go to the one where they were doing the Beatles songs.
Oh, the one in Vegas.
Yeah, I wanted to go see that one, but I didn't get a chance to go do it.
What you do is you eat about 5 hits of acid, and you go to Cirque du Soleil.
Right. Yeah.
See,
that's a night. That's a night.
I'm glad you put it in perspective because Bo was looking at me like I knew he's seen a couple up close. I knew he's seen a couple up close.
Right after we came back from Woodstock. My best friend.
Where, Georgia? You got the silos?
No, he was at the big Woodstock.
We were taking doctors and we were riding fire trucks.
We went up in a 1936 fire engine, me and about 8 guys.
The band they wanted to see was Sha Na Na. That was the band they wanted.
My best buddy was Danny Macklone, 5th ranked.
We missed him?
5th ranked welterweight contender in the world. Right?
Screw the Who, screw Jimi Hendrix. It's all about Sha Na Na.
Anyway, I'm sure what you're very
we're in this was after we got back and went to a Joe Cocker concert at the Fell Forum, which is the small garden underneath Madison Square Garden. And he's sitting in the front row. He's sitting next to me, and he's tripping. This is like the 5th-ranked welterweight contender in the world. He's not even a screwy guy anyway. And he's there, and Joe Cocker's up there doing his thing, you know. Yeah, like, and Danny's in the front row going, Joe Cocker, Joe Cocker, Joe Cocker, Joe Cocker.
No.
Joe Cocker, Joe Cocker, Joe Cocker, Joe Cocker. And Joe Cocker's looking down like, and he's looking at, like in the wings of the stage. What the hell is going on here?
That guy is spasmodic as hell over there.
Joe Cocker, Joe Cocker, Joe Cocker, Joe Cocker.
Don't.
There's some parallels.
Hey, Bo, he's taking the last hit of brown acid. Don't.
Oh, man, that's funny. So did you get to see any of the show, or you just, that all you remember?
What show are you talking about?
You talked about going to Woodstock. You talked about when you got back from Woodstock.
We couldn't get too close because we didn't go up for the beginning. We were up like it was one day in, and we were there. It's raining, and where we could get the fire truck as close as we could, and people were tripping and drinking and getting nuts all over, thousands of people, and we're out in the rain and the mud.
Explain to me again where you stole this fire truck.
I bought it.
You bought a fire truck.
1936 Dodge fire truck. I was buying a car in a used car lot on Jerome Avenue.
And they had a bunch of cars to choose from. You said, I don't want a car. I want that fire truck.
No. So I'm looking. I had $500 to spend, right? So I look, I see this thing. I say, big tarpaulin.
That was like $1 million.
Yeah, and I said, yeah, it was.
I know.
I said, what's under the tarp? Fire engines. Fire engines?
I gotta have it.
Let me see that.
There's a fire engine in a dead Dalmatian. It's been there for like 6 months.
He pulls back the tarp, and here's like first thing you see the bumper. It had a big pump on the bumper, and then it's a red fire engine. It was a 1936 Dodge. Had ladders going down one side of it, hoses going down the other side of it, and a big open middle and an open cab.
Oh, and you just
this guy saw my eyes going like American Total was saying.
Ding, 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 ding.
It's probably $300. I said, how much? How much you want for that? I was playing cool.
Yeah.
How much you want for that? He said, 500. I said, all right, I'll take that.
Well, you're a hell of a negotiator.
Yeah, just like that?
Yeah, and I had that thing for about I had it until 1973 when I moved to Atlanta, and I needed some money, so I sold it to Richie Brew.
He was driving around in his primary car.
I'll tell you what. I interviewed for a space sales advertising job at Playboy on Park Avenue.
Can't make this shit up.
No, you can't.
No, and I parked the fire truck on Park Avenue right outside like 410 where the NFL is. 410 Park Avenue. And I say to the guy, look outside. First of all, I was the best interviewer you ever saw in your life.
Of course.
I mean, I got jobs. I turned down a job at Avis one time.
Remember, you were supposed to go with Armstrong up to the moon. You had that all day.
I was there. I bailed out of that. So I said to the guy, look out the window. And here was the fire truck, and it said, beaubock, the best advertising sales guy in New York. Right? It's one. I had this sign painted, on a big frame and everything, going down where the hoses were.
Yeah.
And the guy looked at me like, you gotta be psycho.
But you're hired.
I was hired. And then the same thing with Avis, and I turned down the job at Avis. It was North American passenger sales manager for Avis. And I turned it down because I could get any job I wanted. There's something about it. It was out on the island. I didn't want to commute. And the guy, I forget the president of the company's name at the time, was Winslow. You heard his name. It was something Winslow, Winston. All of a sudden I come home and I pick up the phone and it's him. He said, hey, Bo, this is, Abe Winston, Abe, oh, hi, Mr. How you doing? He says, listen, we want you. So what's it going to take? He said, you want a car? You want a Corvette? You give me a car? You want a Corvette? I said, well, I'm cocky, right? Well, I think about it. I really, and I turned it. I should have taken it.
Well, Live and learn.
That's how I got into BS on the radio.
Okay, all right. So that's how we were blessed with your.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Is that the short version?
That's the short version.
Okay. And now we find ourselves here.
Yes, we are.
At Bradley's.
And now we're at Bradley's.
Hey, before we leave, we're going to bring back our old friend Andy Jordan, who's in here today. He's actually
Andy Jordan's in here.
He's in here.
You know what? You know what I wish? I wish we had a song. I wish we had some kind of tune or something that would just kind of
hey!
Oh, hey!
It's Taylor Swift.
Oh. Wow.
I don't know.
Where's he going?
Don't worry about him.
Oh, it's going to change.
He's not going to take his shirt off.
Oh, man, here we go. Wow. Oh, God.
Andy, how's the food? What'd you get?
Oh, you did? Oh, you did get
You see the special today?
Wow.
Just the special
It's
today
a
here
beef
is
Berkowitz sandwich.
steak Shapiro sandwich with onion Swiss inside. I bet that's delicious.
You inhale that, or you eat that? You
I don't know
snort
what's
it?
going on here. Hold on.
What are you doing?
Hey, I just usually when I go someplace, they have somebody what comes in and tells them where to sit.
Well, sit right there.
Okay.
Sit right there. You just get off the road?
Oh yeah, man. We
You
just
living
got
in
off.
Nashville?
I know. I'm living outside Nashville. I got a friend over there who owns a farm.
Uh-huh.
He lets me park in the driveway. I don't really, things have been a little tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the sales of the new 8-track CD. I'm on the outside of your inseam.
Uh-huh.
It's going real
That's
well.
clever.
Is it?
And just remember, you stop by any Flying J truck stop, and you just tell
How
them
is Flying J?
it's doing great. They're my corporate sponsor.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and we've been doing real good. And I've been trying to catch up with sports. I know you boys like to talk about sports and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. You like that dip, huh? Yeah, a little chuggy work.
Yeah.
Good.
Man, how about that guy Sherman last night?
Yeah.
I thought he was going to have a spell.
Whoa.
He's pretty intense. Who are you rooting for?
Oh, I don't give a rat's ass.
No.
I just watch it so I can see, what you guys are talking about. Because half the time, especially when this man's talking, I have no idea what's going on. But I have been paying attention to this thing. My name's Davy Crockett Crandall, by the way.
Yeah. Hey, Davey. Good to see you.
It's real good to be here. And I go way back with Mr. Bach here. I never forget, though. I was first time I went in there to see y'all down at 790 The Zone.
Uh-huh.
Bam Radio.
Bam Radio. What the hell is that? That's stupid. Is that what they're calling it nowadays?
Yeah.
Word on the street is that they're going to be making a switch to Bam Radio.
Oh, well, there goes that project. Anyway, I went in there and they had me in the green room, which is really white, which is odd. And I asked them for some coffee, and they gave me some Double Dutch Foods International chocolate coffee.
Oh, really?
And I was like, my God, you guys, radio guys, are a bunch of fags. But turned out all right, though. Y'all, have been coming out hard on this Bobby Petrino man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I started thinking about it. I said, that's really kind of harsh. Maybe I should write a song to kind of put Petrino out there in a different light.
Yeah, right.
Because you know what I like to do? I like to...
You've always been a humanitarian. Yeah.
Yes, I have. And I just wanted to put something out there in a little bit different light. So y'all mind if I sing this song?
No, go ahead.
I'm going to turn this just a little bit right here.
Go ahead, yeah.
It sure is good to be here at Brandl's.
Yeah.
Song about Bobby Petrino. You ready for it?
Yeah.
Shit, I bet you.
Got my seatbelt on.
I took the dog out walking, hooty-hoo. She dropped the shiny present, hooty-hoo. Didn't look where I was going, and oh hell, before you know it, I put my foot down in that steamy stew. I stepped in a pile of Petrino. I stepped in Petrino, oh shoot. I stepped in a pile of Petrino. Petrino all over my boot. Petrino all over my boot. Well, Bobby is a poop stain. Todd Grantham is one too. They are just poop stains who just really ain't got a brain for what to do. Why? That ain't funny. It's sexy. You know, they think they're number one, but they're really number two.
Number two.
Yep. A name that doesn't matter. Hooty-hoo. It all stinks and it splatters. Hooty-hoo. No different on your fingers if they're floaters or they're sinkers. The presence is enough to gag the room. I stepped in a pile of Petrino. I stepped in a pile of Petrino. Petrino all over my boots.
Davey, that is special.
You know, usually people wait till I finish the song before they start telling people.
That was the first?
Yeah.
No, they couldn't wait.
Hey,
I feel like I was a bad prog rock musician and people didn't know when to clap.
what makes it float or sink? I've always wondered that.
Something to do with the iron content.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I know they taste the same.
I've never really even thought about that.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with the iron content. I don't know for sure.
I see you were at the Atlanta Greek Festival there, according to your T-shirt. How was that?
Oh, I got this from Goodwill.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I don't know anything about the Greek Festival. Is that where they talk a lot about sexual butt play?
Yeah.
Okay, well then I would like to be there, but I wasn't there. And I want to thank my Taylor Swift for being such an inspiration to me. I have recently taken the Taylor Swift songwriting correspondence course, and I don't have any ex-boyfriends to write about, but it still has been helpful.
Oh, good.
So, you go, girl.
So you still with that guy? Or?
No, actually, I'm hoping to pick up some yard work or something if y'all got it.
Some yard work?
Yeah.
Bo needs some yard work. He's still got his Halloween decorations
Well,
out.
I need to get some money to get me down to my next gig in Valdosta.
Oh, you got one coming up in Valdosta? Good.
Yeah, I do. So if y'all can help me out with some coin or something, even a bowl of beer cheese soup, I swear, if y'all can do something, it'll be good.
Oh, all right, we'll do it. Davey, good seeing you. Good luck to you.
Thanks for having me.
I'll tell you
down.
what, a lot of people talk about his singing,
Right.
but I think it's more than that. It's the songwriting
He's an inspiration.
to many.
Yeah, he's an inspirational guy.
He's a true road warrior too. He'll be playing next week down in Valdosta. So
I'm thinking of making a road trip.
one last thing to get to before we get out of here. Buster Olney wrote a thing today about the state of Major League Baseball and how the salaries and everything are so out of control. And we've known about it, but one thing you never really think about in the way he put on. Oh, hey, what's up, AJ? Good to see you, man.
God, what the hell is this? This big thing of
That
spit
was
here.
Davy Crockett Crandall stuff. There.
Yeah. That is some gross stuff
He's a
right
gross
there,
I
man.
was just
Gross
telling
daddy
Bo
of-
that just reading an article this morning on ESPN about baseball salaries and how basically you got 6 teams that can afford to pay everybody now. And all the other teams are basically essentially becoming farm teams for these other teams. Like guys like Freddie Freeman, he uses the Braves as an example.
Right.
With Kimbrel and Freeman and Hayward.
Right.
Now, there's no way they're going to be able to afford these guys.
But you know what the fans of those teams always say? It's like, well, look at how much money they put back into the other teams. Look at how the revenue sharing goes. But come on, it's time to revisit what we talked about for years, and that's going ahead and instituting the salary cap in Major League Baseball.
Yes.
Well, the other thing is,
Yeah, it's out of control.
It is.
It's ridiculous.
I'm with you on that.
Are New York and Los Angeles, are they getting additional TV revenue from their state? In other words, you got the Yankee channel up there. Yeah. And is that making that big a difference?
Oh, yeah. That's where it's all coming from. I mean, $1 billion a year is what their profits are. What they get what the Dodgers get from their TV deal with their Fox deal is $1 billion.
Wow.
So what the hell is it to go spend $250 on on your personnel? Yeah, it's nothing.
And teams like the Yankees do share revenue, but still, it doesn't in any way even things out.
No.
Not even close. And there are people who say, why should it? Why should it have? Why should they have to even things out?
So I mean,
I agree.
Well, you agree what? That
No, I agree. Why should they? I mean, that's not you. If you're going to put a salary cap situation there, that's different. But why should a club? What are we on Obamacare in baseball?
No, they have a much better plan than that.
If you have the resources and you have the ability to sign these players, you want to go for it, and you're competing for a World Series title, why not? Why wouldn't you do it?
Well, it's fantastic, but to me, that's part of the game. The way the NFL has instituted a salary cap, that's a whole different strategy that comes into play in the offseason.
Yeah.
And then you see teams that's more competitive.
Right.
I'd like to see baseball more competitive.
But we bitch about it. But you look at the teams that are in the playoffs every year. Braves. Look at Pittsburgh this year. Baltimore. Look at Oakland.
Right.
It's almost you kind of turn these teams into public enemy number one. They go out and spend all this money, and you root against them. How about this? I saw the other day on PTI, which, by the way, is the best show for sports that there is. It's the only.
Good night, Canada.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great show. They did the anniversary, on this day, whatever. Said on this day, 2 years ago, Albert Pujols signed his 10-year deal. They have him for 8 more years.
Right.
Yeah.
8 more years they have to pay him. That's unbelievable.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
It's like that's Ugla times 10.
God, could you imagine? He's 35.
Yeah.
His numbers have gone down 7 years in a row.
Yeah.
Batting average and home runs. Nobody knows how old he is, kind of like you.
He's 39. He's 39.
And I'm in my sexual prime. I'm like a bottle rocket full of jet fuel.
You don't run a push.
Unregulated.
We'll see everybody.
I'll see you guys.
Take care.